Welcome back to another episode of Plant-Based Dads. I'm Joey. We are a mostly whole food, vegan cooking channel. We do some product reviews. Sometimes there's some episodes with Tim, baking with Tim, fermenting with Tim, sprouting with Tim. If you like what you hear so far, please hit that like button, show us some love, and please think about subscribing and becoming part of the Plant-Based Dads family. We do have a Patreon page set up. Patreons are our monthly supporters that help us with the show to get the plant-based message out to the public. If you've ever seen the show and thought, how can I be part of this? How can I help? That's how you can do it. Plus, one of the benefits of being a Patreon is that you get the episodes like 48 hours before everyone else does. So if that's something you're interested in, there's a link in the description below the video that explains how you can do that. Today is Monday, June 28th, and we're starting our Mary's Mini Challenge inside the Facebook group. The group's right here, Plant-Based Dads, Starch Solution Enthusiast. At the end of every month, we do a 7 day, sometimes 10 days, Mary's Mini Challenge. I got a video right here that explains how the Mary's Mini works. And if you want to get in on that, join the Facebook group, or you can do it on Instagram with us. And it's a lot of fun. It's a good precursor to the Starch Solution if you're going to do that, or maximum weight loss. So if you're wondering why in the middle of June, the elf is here, I'm going to explain that later on, but it's a really cool story. So in today's video, I'm going to do a cooking demo on how to make my Instapot garlic noodles. I forget about this recipe. I make it all the time, but I forget like we don't have a video of it. And then my mom was here a few weeks ago and I made this and she was like, this is an amazing recipe. And I was like, I don't even think we have a video on this. Like I just make these all the time because they're so good. So today in the video, I'm going to show you how to make this. It's all done in the Instapot. It works perfect for the Starch Solution, and you're absolutely gonna love it. Let's get started. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is cut up some of our veggies that I'm gonna use here. There's not a lot to cut up. We've got some scallions for garnishing later on. I've got some little peppers here that I'm gonna use. I normally don't throw those in the recipe, but they came out of the garden and I've only got 3 of them, so I'm gonna throw those in. Anytime I can use fresh vegetables from the garden, I'm all about that. All right, so let's get started here with the vegetables. I'm going to cut up these scallions. They're just scallions that I've cut the really white stuff off, and I've cut the very ends that kind of get frayed. So it's kind of the middle part. You wanna use the light and dark green parts for this. I'm just gonna cut them into little slices. It doesn't have to be perfect. They're just garnishes at the end. And I'm just gonna gather these up and get them into my ramekin right here. And there they are, chopped up and ready to go on top of this at the end. Next, I'm gonna cut up my little pieces of peppers here. There's not much to it, it's just 3 tiny little peppers. So that's not gonna take a lot of effort. I'm not even gonna bother deveining them. They're really small. I'm just gonna cut them up into little slices so I can just get them into the pot when it's time. And then I'll get those into my ramekin here. And you can see here that these are ready to go, so we're ready to move on. The last thing I really have to prepare is the garlic. I'm gonna use about 6 to 8 cloves of garlic here. Now, when I put garlic and stuff, as you know, I'm 100% Italian, but when I put garlic and stuff, I don't like to bite into garlic. I don't really like chunks of garlic. I love the taste of garlic, but if I have to bite into it and start chewing on it, that just ruins it for me. So I've got one of these little presses here, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, about 8 cloves of garlic. I mean, this is a garlic dish, so I'm not gonna worry about overdoing. If it's too much garlic, then, you know, don't kiss me. You know what I'm saying? All right, I'm gonna get that going here. I'm just taking some of the garlic and I'm pressing it together, and it just come out the other end of this thing. And this is one of my favorite tools that I have. It just allows me to quickly go through the garlic without having to like take out the microplaner and plane all that. And you can see here our garlic is ready to go. So that's kind of all there is to the prep of this stuff. The rest of it is now just us starting to cook in the Instapot. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get the garlic sautéing. So I'm gonna press the sauté button in the Instapot, and that'll start heating up. And I'll give that a few minutes to do that, and then we'll throw in the water and the garlic. Now, the way I know this is ready to saute is I just take some water, about 2 tablespoons, and I'm just gonna pour some of that in. As you probably can't see it, but there's smoke coming out of this, so the water's getting hot. So I'm gonna get my garlic in there so it can start sauteing. Once it starts kind of fizzling here and you can kind of hear it starting to saute, I'm just gonna move it around. And I'm gonna let that garlic saute for about 3 minutes, just to get it like softer and cooked before we put the pressure cooker on. So the garlic's been cooking for about 3 to 4 minutes. I can smell it, it's very aromatic. I know we're ready to move on. Next, we're gonna add our vegetable broth. So I've got 2 cups of vegetable broth I'm adding right here. And once I put that in there, I'm gonna use my spatula to kind of move it around and kind of scrape the bottom of the pan, get all the good stuff off the bottom. That's because that's all the flavor right there. So now that we have the vegetable broth in, we're gonna start adding the rest of our ingredients. We're gonna put in 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, low sodium, or coconut aminos, which is what I'm using right here. That's kind of where the flavor comes from. Next, we're gonna put in 1 tablespoon of sriracha. I'll probably put a half a tablespoon in. Every time I make this, I feel like it has a little bit too much of a kick. So, I mean, I like sriracha, but I don't like to overdo it. You do you. I think a half a tablespoon is probably good for me. Just kind of mix that around, just kind of get it going. Next, I'm putting in 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. You always want to shake your apple cider vinegar, especially if it has the mother in it, to get all that stuff, mixed in, so you get some of that when you pour it in and it's not at the bottom of the jar. All right, 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. Then we're going to put in about a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of maple syrup. You could use brown sugar here. I like the way the maple syrup works with this. I'm gonna put in 1 teaspoon. I'm gonna continue to mix that up a little bit. All right, and at this point, you could put in a little pinch of salt if you want. You can leave it out. I kind of like it with the taste in there, so I'm gonna do that. And I'm just gonna give it a good stir, and we can shut off the Instant Pot now. All right, so I've just shut the Instant Pot off, and the liquids and flavoring is all in there. Actually, I forgot I cut up the peppers, so I'm gonna put the peppers in too. I didn't want to put them in with the garlic because I didn't want them to get too soft. I want them to have some texture, but they need to go in before the pasta goes in. So I'm gonna put those in right now. Those are gonna look nice in there. All right, the next step is important. So I've got 8 ounces of just some spaghetti, right? You don't need to go crazy with special noodles for this. I'm just using this Good and Gather spaghetti from Target. The only ingredient in it is the durum wheat. If you're allergic to wheat, then don't use wheat, but otherwise, starch solution, you can absolutely use wheat pasta. Now, you gotta break the pasta in half, right? And then you have to put it in, like I just heard it, like go on the floor somewhere. I don't know what happened. All right, so and then you have to put it in a certain way because you wanna make sure that the liquid covers it all up. So in here, you want to put it in the pot and lay the first half in one direction, right? And then lay the other half in the opposite direction, so they're perpendicular. Then you want to take your spoon and push it all down so it's completely covered by the liquid. The liquid should be covering all of the noodles, otherwise they won't cook right. And you can see right here that that's what I've done. I've pushed it all down. Now it's not like an inch over the noodles, it's barely over, but that's all that you need. So that amount of liquid should be enough to cover all those noodles. So now we're ready to get this cooking. So I'm gonna take the lid and put it on the pot. And then I'm gonna make sure it's set to sealing position, which it should be. And then I'm gonna set it to cook for 5 minutes on manual high pressure. And that's it. All right, so now it just needs to build up the pressure and cook for 5 minutes, and then we'll do a quick release. All right, so while this is cooking, let me answer the question that everyone's got on their mind right now. Why is my elf here? Well, I can't wait to tell you about this. So I don't know if you can see this, but my elf is wearing a plant-based dad's outfit. He's wearing like this pair of jeans and a plant-based dad's t-shirt, right? And let me tell you how this came to be. You stay right there. So Little Red spends most of the year at the North Pole with Santa. Every now and then he comes back in the middle of the year just to kind of see how we're doing, just to check up on us. And of course he saw me and was like, you know, you're good. He saw Lexx and said, oh, you know, you're good. And then he saw Tim and he was like, not so much. You don't follow directions. I'm gonna need to keep an eye on you. So I don't know, maybe Tim needs to clean up his act. That's what's happening in our house. But the outfit that he's wearing came from one of the subscribers, one of the followers of the show, Juliana. She makes these outfits for the elves. Now, I'm gonna show you what she sent me here. So this box came with a lot of stuff in it. So I'm gonna show you some of the things Juliana does at her shop. It's really cool. So she sends these little outfits, right? You can buy them online. That one says plant-based dads. This one here says, we're gonna need more potatoes. If you're in the Facebook group or if you watch the videos, you know that's kind of a line. We're gonna need more potatoes. And it's got some really cool, it's got a pair of pants that looks like a pair of pajamas with some animals on it. Very vegan-like, absolutely beautiful. It's also nicely wrapped. It comes on this like red card with her company name on it, with a little ribbon on it. So really cool. So then, not only did she send that outfit and the one for plant-based dads, she knows my son's a gamer, right? So she sent him this little gaming outfit for the elf, right? And it's got eat, sleep, game, repeat on it. And then the little pant or the little pajamas or the little slacks have all these like gaming controllers on it, right? Not only did she send this, but she also sent this little plastic TV and this little kind of eraser rubber gaming controller. So like if you're doing the elf right at Christmas, one of his little scenes could be where he's wearing the outfit and he's got his little TV here and he's got his little controller and he's gaming, right? So that was amazing. Not only did she know what I like, but she knew what my son liked. And there's no better way to a parent's heart than through your children, right? So very smart. I absolutely love this. And then in the box also, everything was really professionally wrapped. Like it was absolutely beautiful, right? Inside the box also was a little bag with some elf shoes on it, which he's wearing, the little high top sneakers. Absolutely adorable. So if you get a chance, visit the redelfshop.com. I don't have any association with them other than she sent me some items to show you guys, but I can already tell you I'm absolutely going to love it, and I can't wait till the holidays come. So thank you, Juliana. You're very thoughtful, and I can feel the love. Thank you so much. All right, so once the Instant Pot is finished, we're going to let it sit for about 3 to 5 minutes, not too long. We're not going to let it do a natural release. We're going to do a quick release, but we're going to give it like 3 to 5 minutes first. Then we're going to take a rag, this is how I do it, and I cover that thing up on the top so I don't get burned. Then I flip the pressure knob down and let the steam release. Now you'll know when it's safe to open because the little pin on the top will drop in. So keep an eye on this pin right here. You'll see it drop in here in just a minute, and it's about to drop in, and there it goes. Now the pot is safe to open up and there's no pressure left in it to blow the damn thing up. Okay, let's open it up and see what we have. All right, so at this point, you want to stir it up really well. You want to make sure that none of the noodles are clumped together. You want to separate them all so they're all kind of moving freely. Now, if there's some water in there, that's fine. The noodles will absorb it. But your goal right here is just to kind of get all the noodles separated. Now, if this cooked right, which it looks like it did, then the noodles won't be mushy. They'll be kind of al dente. And these noodles are holding together nicely, so this is cooked correctly. If you do have water left in the pot, just keep stirring it. The noodles will absorb it. You can see here that I've got no water left. My noodles are ready. So I'm going to add the toppings to it and then get it plated up. All right, so at this point, I'm going to pop in some of the scallions that I cut up. I mean, I could throw this whole thing in there. I love scallions. It's not going to be too scallion-y for me, but it really is meant as an accent. And I'll save some to put on the top afterwards. And then the last thing I'm going to put in is a tablespoon of sesame seeds. You can leave these out if you want, but I mean, it's an Asian dish. It's garlic noodles. You need sesame seeds. So I'm going to put those in right there, and then I'm going to give that a good stir. Oh yeah, so now it's looking really good. It's looking like garlic noodles that you would get like at a takeout place. All right, I think we're ready to dish this up and see how it tastes. Let's give it a shot. I'm just using like my pasta gripper thingy here to get a little bit of this out, and it's looking really good. And maybe I'll put just a little bit more of this scallions on top just for a garnish. All right, folks, you can see how good this looks. I mean, look at that. You can see the sesame seeds all over the noodles. It's got a beautiful sauce on it. The scallion, just give it some color. And then right there is a little piece of the pepper that I cut out from the garden. Again, not something I normally put in here, but I just wanted to use it. It smells really good. I can't wait to try it. Let's give it a shot. Wow. It does have a little kick from the sriracha, but not too much. But if you're sensitive to spicy food, then leave the sriracha out. Wow. Folks, this is so good. The idea of just some spaghetti with the garlic and the soy sauce and all that, making a really restaurant quality takeout dish at home. I mean, this is amazing. The levels of the flavor are so good. I mean, I just keep tasting the different things. The sesame seeds, the soy sauce, even the pepper just adds so much to it, which I'm really surprised because I would normally not have put those in there. So this is an amazing dish. How simple was this? Like, it was a few ingredients, right? The Instant Pot cooked it in 5 minutes. I mean, and we're done. And this is one of the things that I make this occasionally, maybe once a month, right? Once every 2 months. And when my mom is here, I happen to make it. And she was like, my mom didn't ask for seconds of anything while she was here. All right, she did ask for a smoothie every day because she loved that. When I made this, my mom was like, is there any of that left? And I was like, yeah, there's about 1 serving left. Do you want it? And she's like, I do. I was like, okay. So my mom approved of this dish. So, I mean, if my mom liked it, right, then you're going to love it too. All right, folks, that's our recipe for today. Instant Pot garlic noodles. Like, it doesn't get any easier than this. You can double this recipe if you want more than like 3 or 4 servings. Please hit that like button. Show us some love. What's not to like? If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. You'll get notified every time we have a new video, usually every Monday, unless it's a baking with Tim, sprouting with Tim, fermenting with Tim. Those will be on Saturdays. And please, leave a comment below. How do you feel about garlic noodles? Like, is that a thing at your house? It's a thing at my house. All right, folks, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.